Have a nice day. This is Indhu, Assistant Professor, Department of English. I am working in Avis College of Arts and Science. Now I am going to discuss about literary criticism. So first of all, what is literary criticism? So literary criticism is the evaluation of literary works. This includes the classification by genre, analysis of structures, and a judgment of value. Literary criticism has two main functions: to analyze, study and evaluate work of literatures, and the second one to form general principles for the examinations of works of literature. So first of all, we are all knowing about what is literary theory. The capacity to generalize about the phenomena and to develop the concept that the basic for interpretations and analyze in the instance of a literary text. The formalism, Marxism, feminism, psychoanalytical and cultural criticism, and structuralism and post-structuralism, and also authentic type. So by there are many more author intentions and reader response criticisms, on biological criticisms, on cognitive scientific, on moralist and queer, and socio-political and sociological, and so many more. The first one I am going to discuss about types of literary theory. Types of literary theory. First one, the formalism. What is formalism? Attempts to discover meaning by the close reading of the work of literatures. It is only the focus on form, organizations and structures. And the next one, the word choice and languages. So word choices and language are most important in literary text. And then the multiple meanings. The fourth one, consider the works in isolations and disagreeing author's intent and author's background and content and anything to happens outside of the work itself. And the next one, the formalism and new criticism. The formalist movement began in England with the publication of I.A. Richards and Practical Criticisms in 1929. The next one, American critics such as John Brown Ransoms and Robert Penn Warren and Clint Brooks adapted the formalisms and termed their adoptions new criticism. Next one, new criticism. What is new criticisms? Meaning resides in a text, not in a reader, author or a world. Text may contain numerous messages but must have a unifying general theme created by the perfect union all of your artistic elements. Text are your artistic creations. Close reading in the basic of new critical analysis and the methodology for finding meaning is clear cut. The tools are unique to the literary analysis. And the next one, impact of formalism. What is the impact of formalism? Today few critics other only the formalist are new criticism theory. However, it is a back to the basics approaches pervades many other critical theories. And the next one, reader response criticism. What is the main thing, the reader response criticism? So once you have to read a text, so reader response is the most important in your aesthetic field. Since the readers are essential to the interpretation of your work, each reader is unique with different educations and experience, more values, opinions, taste and etc. Therefore, each reader's interactions with your works is unique. Analyze the features of the text that shape and guide readers' reading. So emphasizes reserving the rereading for a new interpretation is called a reader response criticism. The next one, reader response theory has been criticized as being overly impassionate and guilty of the affective fallacy. This attacks resulted in the adaptation to the reader response criticism called a reductions theory. The next one, structuralism. What is mean by structuralism? So meaning resides the structures of language not in your art or nor in the reader's mind. So scientific approach to literary analysis. So structure of language or logical sign system determines meanings and the two levels of language, language and parole. So interpret the text of your part of your text by taking in a language apart the study of divisions and syntax. The next one, so biographical criticism. So biographical means analysis. So analyze the author's life and regard to the work can enhance the understanding of your work must be used carefully. Example, a cat chopping. Next one, the sociological criticism. So sociological means around the society. So maintains that literary work cannot be separate from the social content in which was created. In general, sociological criticism examines one of these two aspects. The first aspect levels is condition of your productions such as schools and magazines, publishers and fashions. The next one, the applicability of a given work, like fiction, especially in studying the dynamics of a given society. The next one, what types of social criticism. So sociological theory is a broad that can be subdivided in many different categories. Two dominant theories we will study here. The first one, the feminist criticism. The next one, the Marxist criticism. So first of all, what is feminist criticism? We are all knowing about the feminist criticism, also talks about your feminine and rights and works and etc. Now I'm going to discuss about feminist criticisms. Feminist criticism is grow up the women's movements that followed World War II. And the feminist criticism analyze the role of gender, the works of literatures. Leading critic Eleni Showalter described the two purposes of feminist criticism. The first one, feminist critic, to analyze of works by male authors, especially in the depiction of women's writing. The next one, gynocriticism, so study of women's writing. Next one, the feminist critics have been responsible for the recovering the neglected works by women authors through the ages and creating a canon of women's writing. A case in points in Kate Chopin's, she was fairly widely published in 1890s, but her work was largely neglected by the literary critics until the 1960s, when Chopin was discovered by feminist critics. The next one, feminist critics. So meaning in socially constructed, and the next one, text have more than more interpretations, and text are accommodates and products of society, and truth is a relative, highly dependent on arbitrary categories or different sex or genders. Next one, the Marxist criticism. So what is Marxist criticism? So Marxist criticism is based on the social and economic theories of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Their beliefs include the following: values is based on labor. The next one, working class will eventually overthrow the capitalized middle classes. And the third points, in the meantime, the middle class explodes the working classes. The fourth one, most institutions, religious, legal, educational, like governmental, are corrupted by the middle class capitalists. Next one, New Historicism. So what is New Historicism? So New Historic critics view literature as part of history and furthermore as an expression of focus on history. So the New Historicism compares literary analysis to the dynamic circles. So the first one, the work tells us something about the surroundings, ideology. And the next one, study of ideology tells us something about the work. So New Historicism takes two forms: analysis of the work in a context in which it was created, and analysis of the work in the context in which it was critically evaluated. Next one. So psychoanalytical criticism. What is psychoanalytical criticism? So analyzes literature to reveal insights about the way of human minds and works. Each and every person having some different feelings, different emotions. So each and everything is based on mindsets. So works well as method of analyzing characters, actions and motivations. Thank you.